Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining tonight. It's my first rodeo. I apologize. It's just been playing around with YouTube. Thank you so much for joining, and we are going to start. Okay, so we have an amazing topic right before us tonight that I would like to delve into. And this is one interesting question that I get all the time. And I thought, why not? Why don't I do a live feed today on this? And it's usually a question that seems frustrating to a lot of patients, and so we're going to be delving into how to help ourselves, and especially because I have been through the journey. And so today we're going to be talking about one of the most frustrating questions I get. Doctor, I am eating right, I am walking every day, but I still can't lose weight. If that sounds familiar, don't worry, you are not alone. Now, weight loss is far more complex than calories in, calories out. And my goal today is to help you understand the root cause or root causes behind stubborn weight and give you clear medical and practical steps that you can start right today. Now, what is the foundation? We're going to be looking at energy balance versus body chemistry. And although simple science says you lose weight when you burn more calories than you consume, but the human body is not a calculator, it is a chemistry lab. It's about hormones, sleep, stress, inflammation, you know, gut health. And all of this influences calories. For example, two people eat the same thing every day, one gains weight and one doesn't. Why? Because of the metabolism, muscle mass, hormonal balance, and even gut bacteria. If your body's internal chemistry is out of balance, it can hold on to fat even when you're doing everything right. Now, what are the things that can cause difficulty? Stubborn weight. We're going to be looking at your medical versus your metabolic reasons. Now, your thyroid, it's a tiny organ in the neck that it's like a thermostat for your metabolism. So when you have a low functioning thyroid, you have slower metabolism, fatigue, constipation, and weight gain. And these can actually be tested by a simple blood test. Now, something called insulin resistance, which is very common in today's dispensation. It leads to your body not responding to insulin. And this has been linked to belly fat, prediabetes, metabolic syndrome. And this can also be triggered by frequent snacking and eating a lot of sugary foods, chronic stress. Okay, now some medications as well that people can be taking, birth control pills, antidepressant, beta blockers, can cause stubborn weight. PCOS is another condition, menopause is another condition, and this can affect your sleep and your hunger. And so we always encourage you talk to your doctor about some of the medications that you're taking, because a little change in that can actually make a big difference in your weight loss journey. Now, there are certain root causes that we often overlook. Things like poor sleep. When you're getting less than 6 hours of sleep every day, this increases your hunger hormones, ghrelin, and it decreases your fullness hormones called leptin. And then you find yourself craving for sugars and carb to stay awake. Chronic stress, high cortisol, which leads to high blood sugar, insulin spikes, and this tells your body to store fat, especially in your belly, your abdomen. So emotional eating is one of the things that we see a lot, which people use as a coping mechanism as well for stress, which leads to weight gain. Now, hormonal shifts in women, things like the estrogen and progesterone changes during perimenopause and menopause, this can shift fat storage in the midsection and decrease muscle mass and slow metabolism. Now, your a gut imbalance, when you talk about bacteria as well, the bacteria in your belly, in your gut, can cause inflammation, bloating, and craving when you have the wrong bacteria. Now, Eating fiber rich food, hydration, and just taking probiotics can actually help to restore that and help your weight loss journey. And so when we talk about root cause, we're not talking about fancy testing. We're talking about what we can do to understand your body, what your body is always telling a story, so that we can get you from being stuck to being unstuck. Now, lifestyle changes and habits are things that can support lasting weight loss. All right. So, when you focus on your nutrition, you're eating real foods, proteins, vegetables, your healthy fats, your complex carbohydrates. You want to avoid ultra processed foods and liquid calories and sodas and juices, which are things that are very, very common these days. You want to eat regularly to stabilize your blood sugar and avoid hunger crashes. You want to also do exercise, cardio, strength training to help improve your muscle mass, which can, help your body to efficiently burn calories. You want to make sure you're hydrated. You're drinking half your body weight in ounces per day, because many times when we think we're hungry, we're actually dehydrated. And you know what? Consistency is the key with a mindset, to want to stick this through. Weight loss is a journey. It's a lifetime journey. And so it's something that you want to be committed to. So you don't, when you, the scale may not be moving, but there are little wins. When you concentrate on your sleep, making sure that you're eating healthy. So the little wins can be in checking your muscle mass, not necessarily looking at the weight or the scale. Now, when you were doing all those things that we talked about and you're still not losing weight, this will be the time to speak to your doctor about maybe digging deeper, checking your thyroid, checking your insulin level, your hemoglobin A1C, which we'll talk about your sugar, doing your liver function, which gives us an idea of your fat metabolism, checking your cortisol level, or maybe a simple test to check you for sleep apnea, which can lead to chronic stress and fatigue. Or maybe it's your hormones, checking, doing your hormonal profile by your doctor. These are the tests that we can personalize to you. And so, not to label you, but to understand the story that your body is saying or telling us. And when we put all things together, your weight loss journey becomes, successful. So, weight loss is not about punishment or deprivation. It's about healing your metabolism. It's about nurturing your hormones. It's about taking small, consistent steps that will lead to success. It's about addressing the behavioral and biological factors that can result in sustainable results. And so at Prime Rose Wellness Incorporated, we combine both the traditional medicine, lifestyle coaching, not just to help you lose weight, but to keep it up permanently. I always joke, I tell my patients, weight loss is the easiest thing, as difficult as it may be. But the most challenging is keeping the weight off. Now, if you're struggling to lose weight, please don't give up. Sometimes the problem isn't lack of effort, it's lack of information. The good news is your body wants to heal and respond to the treatment. When you give it the right support, the weight will begin to shift naturally. I'm Dr. Olubumi Balaji with Primrose Wellness Incorporated. Our mission is wellness that transforms. And so I want to encourage you to stay connected with us for more health talks. You can visit us at our Comac location in New York, or you can follow us online for more wellness tips. Now, I want to ask you, what is the hardest part of your weight loss journey? Is it about food? Is it about exercise? Is it motivation? I want you to respond in the chat, and I would, try to answer some of the questions or challenges that you may have. Thank you so much. I want to really thank everyone for joining tonight. I know it's a Sunday night and everyone is busy, but thank you so very much. I do appreciate your time. Let's see. Okay, I am looking for the chart. Okay. All right, I'm trying to answer a couple of questions. Okay. Oh, my apologies. It's my first rodeo. I'm looking for the chart. Okay. Okay. All right, everyone. Unfortunately, I'm not able to access um, the chat section, but we will see you again. Thank you so much for joining and have a wonderful evening.